Boris, you played a critical matchmaker role with the development of the AUKUS nuclear submarine pact between the UK, the US and Australia. You write in your book that France should be involved. Can you expand on this, and do you really think that France could be part of AUKUS in the future?
Well, AUKUS is an amazing thing because it shows the political, strategic, emotional closeness of Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States, and their willingness to share the most secret details of nuclear technology. Now, France has always been outside that with the Foster Flap and so on. They've always had a different approach, but there are things that we do together with the French on nuclear technology. The UK does a thing called Tutat that we share with France. Maybe one day France could be involved. France is a Pacific power, has been for a long time, and there's no reason in principle, but at the moment it isn't, no question, it is an Anglosphere.
If the United States tries to stop China taking Taiwan by force, should the United Kingdom and Australia join the US in that effort?
Famously, the UK didn't join America in Indochina in the 1960s. We didn't get into the Vietnam War, but generally speaking, the UK and the United States are shoulder to shoulder, and so is Australia. And I think that all our interests are engaged. This is something that is incredibly important for the world. As with Ukraine, we can't have borders being changed by force. We can't have autocratic governments thinking that they can use aggression to get their way. And look, I've no doubt that the positions of Australia, the UK and America will be very closely aligned.
Boris, you have met and worked with many Australian Prime Ministers as London Mayor, as Foreign Secretary and Prime Minister. Is there any one or two who stand out in your particular esteem and respect?
I have Tony Abbott remains a great friend. He's a guy that I made him a trade envoy for the United Kingdom, and we see each other quite often. But I also was very, very proud of my relationship with Scott Morrison, who did an outstanding job and who was if anybody really brought AUKUS to birth, it was Scott Morrison. And like Tony, he traces his origin to England. I think to Cornwall, actually. One of Scott's ancestors was jailed for sheep stealing, I think. So when he came to the Carbis Bay summit, where we had to conceal what was going on, there was a lot of skullduggery at the Carbis Bay summit. We had to pretend to Macron that nothing was going on, and the French were very suspicious. But Scott was, though he wasn't obviously part of the G7, Scott came along anyway, because I invited him. And the first thing he did was to go to Bodmin jail to see where his ancestor had been banged up for, theft, before being sent to Botany Bay, whatever happened to him. But I see Scott quite a lot. Well, we've done stuff together on AUKUS, on the Middle East.